Are you tired of feeling stressed about money? Well, we're jumping right in today. In this explainer, we are going to literally dismantle those scarcity mindsets that keep so many of us completely trapped in financial anxiety. And instead, we're going to build a rock-solid, step-by-step roadmap to true wealth. We're drawing straight from the brilliant minds of top financial experts like Nisha Shah, Scott Galloway, Jaspreet Singh, and Cody Sanchez to completely rewire how you look at your money. So here's the game plan. We're taking a building block approach. First, we rewire that money mindset. Then, we lock down the basic wealth formula. After that, we'll talk about how to stop wasting and start valuing, figure out how to scale your true value, and finally, achieve real financial happiness. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's kick things off with a pretty tough question from financial expert Nisha Shah. Think about this for a second. Why do we actively dodge looking at our bank accounts? Seriously, why do we avoid opening that credit card app after a long weekend of spending? It's because checking it forces us to face our deepest money anxieties head-on and to see exactly where our daily habits might be totally out of whack with our actual values.
Starting with our first block, rewiring your money mindset. To build a solid financial pyramid, we absolutely have to tackle the psychological barriers that hold us back from gaining real financial clarity. Because let's be honest, we just can't build wealth if we're flying blind.
Nisha points out that this avoidance is driven by something called the ostrich effect. Basically, we just bury our heads in the sand or, hide under the covers. But here's the kicker. Ignoring those little spending leaks doesn't magically make them vanish. Actually, scratch that. It makes it worse because it allows those gaps to silently compound against you. By dodging the discomfort of looking at your numbers right now, you're literally trading away your peace of mind for tomorrow.
And that brings us to a super important distinction highlighted by entrepreneur and professor Scott Galloway. Society is always pushing us to chase being rich, right? But think about someone pulling in millions a year, only to blow it all just to maintain this lavish, high-stress lifestyle. That person is just rich, and honestly, they're probably exhausted. But on the flip side, someone who keeps their expenses in check and covers them entirely with passive income, now that person is truly wealthy. They have ultimate economic security.
So getting wealthy isn't actually about upgrading to a massive TV, buying the flashiest car, or just playing a part to impress total strangers. No, it's strictly about buying economic security. Because the second you free yourself from that crushing financial anxiety, you finally have the mental bandwidth to focus on what actually matters: your health, your time, and your deep, meaningful relationships.
Moving on to part 2, the basic wealth formula. Now that we've poured the foundation of what wealth actually means, let's level up. Let's dig into the exact formulas and systems you need to manage your money day in and day out.
Financial educator Jaspreet Singh lays out this beautifully simple equation. Your income minus your expenses leaves you with your margin. And listen, that margin can't just sit around gathering dust in a checking account. You have to put it to work. Wealthy people use that exact margin to buy equity. That could mean buying stocks, investing in real estate, or funding a business. The goal is to intentionally convert your cash into assets that actually grow over time.
But how in the world do you actually create that margin without feeling like you're living on rice and beans? Well, experts recommend an incredibly straightforward bucket strategy for your take-home pay. You put 65% toward your fundamentals, those absolute must-haves like rent and groceries. Then 25% goes to fun, because, hey, you still need to enjoy your life, right? And the final 10%, that goes strictly to the future you.
Now, here's the absolute secret sauce to making that bucket system work, summed up perfectly by Warren Buffett. The trick is automating your savings first. The absolute second your paycheck hits your account, you instantly and automatically move that 10% into an untouchable investment or savings account. Basically, you're paying your future self before your present self even gets the urge to spend it on something random.
All right, let's look at part 3, stopping the waste and starting to value what we have. If we're going to free up the cash we need to invest, we absolutely have to know how to filter our spending and strategically attack our debt.
We live in a world with zero friction. I mean, you can literally buy a car on your phone at 2 a.m. So, before you hit that Buy Now button, creating a little mental friction is vital. Just ask yourself 3 quick questions. Do I really need it? Can I live with less of it? And can I find the exact same thing for cheaper? This simple pause guarantees you're not just buying stuff to flex on other people or chasing a cheap 5-second dopamine hit.
Now, if you want to totally flip your finances upside down in the next 6 months, here is a rock-solid step-by-step roadmap. Step 1. Build a safety net.
Step 2. Eliminate toxic debt. Step 3. Start buying your freedom. Let's break down exactly why tackling it in this exact order is the ultimate scarcity killer.
Okay, this number is wild. Research from Vanguard actually shows that just having a $2,000 emergency cushion instantly boosts your overall financial well-being by 21%. That's huge. Before you even start obsessing over getting rich, you need to buy yourself the peace of mind that a random flat tire or a surprise medical bill isn't going to completely derail your life.
Once you've got that cushion locked in, go mercilessly after any debt with an interest rate above 8%, which is almost always credit cards. Why 8%? Well, historically, the stock market only averages an 8 to 10% return over the long haul. So if your credit card debt is compounding against you at 20 or 25%, investing your money instead of paying off that debt means you are literally, mathematically losing money. You've got to kill that high-interest debt first. No exceptions.
Moving to part 4. Scaling your true value. We've talked a whole lot about cutting back and saving, but let's be real. Saving has a strict mathematical limit. You can only cut your expenses down so far before you hit bone. So, let's pivot to something with infinite upside. Exploding your earning power. Entrepreneur Cody Sanchez drops a massive truth bomb here. The modern economy cares way less about the fancy name on your college degree and way more about your actual practical skills. If you can use your skills to do one of 3 things for a business, grow their revenue, cut their costs, or take away a massive headache for the owner, you can completely bypass that slow, traditional corporate ladder. You can actually negotiate for real equity and upside in a business. That is a total game changer.
But to unlock that kind of earning potential, you have to radically rewire how you view your own time. Let's say you decide your time is worth $50 an hour. Stop spending 3 hours on hold trying to argue down your cable bill to save $10. It doesn't make sense. Recognize what your time is actually worth and pour that energy into creating real, tangible value for others. That is the secret to dramatically scaling up your income.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this single idea. Before you go out and buy a flashy car or dump all your cash into the stock market, the highest return on investment you will ever see comes from spending money to learn new skills. Seriously, whether it's paying for a course on video editing, business strategy, or high-level sales, investing in your own knowledge gives you a personal asset that absolutely no one can ever take away from you.
And finally, part 5, achieving real financial happiness. We've mastered the mindset, the math, the saving, and the earning. So let's put the roof on this financial pyramid and look at what we've actually been building this whole time. All the experts agree on this one massive mindset shift. We have to stop chasing financial success. It's a total trap. It's just society's definition, completely fueled by social media, status symbols, and trying to keep up with the neighbors. Instead, what we are really building towards is financial happiness, and that is completely intrinsic. It's all about having the freedom, the options, and the independence to make sure your money strictly serves the life you genuinely want to live.
So how do we actually buy that freedom? Simple. We completely ignore the get-rich-quick schemes. Look, experts warn that even the smartest Wall Street professionals fail at picking individual winning stocks over the long run. Instead, the absolute easiest, most reliable way to build wealth is just this. Consistently and automatically funnel your money into diversified, low-cost index funds like the S&P 500. Only put in money you won't need for the next 5 years, and then just step back and let compounding do all the heavy lifting over the next couple of decades. It's definitely not flashy, but man, it works.
Remember, we live in a world where you just cannot save your way to retirement anymore. The math just does not work with the rising cost of living. But if you start gamifying your investments today, if you start fiercely valuing your own time and skills, and if you assign every single dollar a job to buy back your time, what kind of amazing, financially happy life could you start building for yourself tomorrow? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope you're walking away ready to take absolute control of your financial future.